Hello, I'm David Holm, and we'd like to welcome you to Family Talks. Today on Family Talks, we're going to be talking about the Bobby Wood School of Christian Studies. And the special guest today is Mark McCloy. Mark is the Northwest Area Minister for the West Virginia Baptist Convention and also the Director of Leadership Ministries. So, Mark, we welcome you today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
The Bobby Wood School of Christian Studies has been an incredible program for the West Virginia Baptist Convention, incredible ministry. And so maybe just to start today, if you want to tell us a little bit about the School of Christian Studies for those who may not be familiar with it.
Sure. The School of Christian Studies is sort of our in-house training program, which is it spans the whole state. And it originally started out as the idea of training pastors, but it's actually grown beyond that to training leaders and just anybody interested in growing in their faith and in their knowledge of the Word and of our faith.
It's really had an impact on our convention as a whole in a lot of ways. What can you tell us?
Well, it's interesting because when it first started out, one of the things they put in the original catalog, which I actually have in my desk, was one of their primary motivating factors was that so many pastors didn't have any training. In fact, at that time, 70% of our pastors were bivocational. I think those numbers would even be higher now. But what they found was that something like, I think it was 3% of them had been trained. And so 97% of pastors, of bivocational pastors, hadn't been trained at all. And they were having to do their training, self-train. So the idea was to be able to bring together a couple different threads. There had been 2 or 3 other attempts going on. There was a lay ministers program that the American Baptist Men had. There was another classroom program. There were 3 different programs not working together. And so it was Bobby Wood's idea to actually bring those 3 together and form the School of Christian Studies.
So currently, what are the programs of study and the class formats?
Yeah. So, and in fact, I got it written down here so I don't forget any. But we actually have a variety of different certificates you can get. There's a certificate of general ministry. There's a certificate of lay ministry. There's a teaching certificate. And then our primary one is the diploma in pastoral ministry. Now, the diploma in pastoral ministry, to get that, you have to take all 24 courses in the basic program over a 3-year period. And that is considered by our Committee on Ministerial Standing to be the minimum educational requirements for state level recognition of your ordination. We also have a couple advanced programs. One is just an advanced general certificate, and the other is one in church transformation. So kind of a variety there. And we also, do you want me to talk about the formats too?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, originally this all began as just a face-to-face type of thing. And it was actually approved in 1993, started offering classes in 1994. And originally the classes were offered in 2 formats. 1-day classes were taught at Parchment Valley, and 6-week classes were taught at various churches around the state, with the beauty being that people could go to a class that was in their area and, not have to necessarily drive clear to the other side of the state for every class. Over time, we began to add some other options, and the first thing that we added was live stream, and we've actually been doing that for a number of years. So we offer live stream. What we do is our Parkersburg location normally has pretty good internet, and so they offer the live stream version of the class. So suddenly you have the option of, okay, I don't have to be in exactly the right place. I can be anywhere that has internet, and I can take the class. And then that's worked really, really well for us. And what we found is most of those students are students that don't have a location close to them. Also, sometimes there are ones that maybe have a lot going on, and it's really hard to get in the car and drive 45 minutes or whatever to class. So that way they can just take it at home. Then in the last several years, we've added a couple more offer. Actually, it's really started to blossom. offered the digital program, and the digital program I think is very exciting and opens up a lot of these other opportunities. But the digital program, you can take the class anywhere, and you can take it at your own schedule. So you don't have to be on the internet at a specific time. So now suddenly you can watch, and all the lectures are videoed and stuff, so you can watch the lecture on your break while you're at work, and so it just gives you a lot more flexibility. And from that, we've also begun to offer independent studies. We have several that are going on right now this summer. People that are maybe missed a class or two along the way, and because we have that digital stuff, they can just go ahead and take the class. And usually we provide some additional discussion questions, and maybe discussion wouldn't be the right word because you're not discussing them with somebody else, but with me, because you send them to me. But so anyway, we have an individual study program. We also have two others that really haven't taken off a lot yet. One is what I call facilitator led. So let's say you have a group of people at your church that want to take the classes, but you don't have a qualified teacher in the area. And that actually is true in some of our associations. Normally our teachers all have a minimum of a master's level education. And so let's say you don't have anybody in your association with that. Well, you can have the class offered at your church, and we'll provide you with all the materials, with the videos are all the lectures are already videoed, and anyway, the teaching notes and PowerPoints and all that stuff. And so you can just have somebody that's already maybe a decent teacher, but doesn't have maybe the requisite background. They can go ahead and they can teach the class with our help. And then the final one is, like, let's say that you came to a class at Parchment Valley. Well, I'll just pick one. Let's say you came to the community ministry class and you thought, man, I wish the people in my church could have heard this. Well, they can. And so what we do with that, and we have done this several times, but is you would get your group together at your church, and we would actually send a teacher to your church and offer that class in a format that works for you. A lot of times those will be like a Saturday thing or something like that. But anyway, that's quite a lot, but that's what we've got going on right now.
Well, it is, but one of the emphases, I think, for the School of Christian Studies has been to make it available to as many people as you can in as many formats as you can, so that if someone has some sort of difficulty in taking the traditional classes, you have lots of other options that they can take classes through the School of Christian Studies. Now, this has been a crazy time with COVID-19, so has that altered anything for you in the school?
Yeah, it has. Because of course, being cautious, just like everybody else, we've suspended our in-person classes for now, and so what we're doing, but the other things like the digital program, the live stream, and the independent studies, those three formats are still up and running and doing great. And in fact, we had two classes that just started about a week ago, I guess. Right now, Old Testament 1 and Baptist Polity are ongoing. And the way the digital program works is a new class starts in every odd numbered month. There are two classes starting. So it makes it easy to remember.
So who all is eligible for this? I mean, is it limited just to pastors? Is it limited just to people in the West Virginia Baptist Convention? Who's eligible for the School of Christian Studies?
Basically anybody can take a class, and we've actually trained pastors in other denominations and in other states. I've had people come from Ohio and even Virginia to take classes, which is pretty exciting, I think. And so this is not just helping us and our people, but anyone that wants to come and learn, we're open to that.
And the cost is very reasonable.
Yes, it is. It's very reasonable.
Yeah.
I would like to mention that we do get some funding from the Bowen Educational Grant, and we appreciate that. That helps us to keep our costs low. And anyway, so I don't recall the exact amount, but it's in the neighborhood of the classes run from like 35 to 45, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. That's pretty cheap for a class.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So let's say I'm watching this today and I'm going, man, this is for me. I've been called to ministry. I feel like I'm being called. I want to get involved in the School of Christian Studies. How would I register or even find out more information?
The easiest way is to just get on our West Virginia Baptist Convention website, and you can look up under education, under the education tab. There's another tab for the School of Christian Studies right there, and it tells all about the program, what's going on. A lot of times on the landing page, there'll be something about the current classes, and you can register right online at no additional cost. If you want more information, you're certainly welcome to contact me, or you can contact our administrative assistant, Donna, there in the office, and she's just about always there. So anyway, and we also, of course, have paper registration, or you can even just stop in to the office, or if you know and have heard that a class is starting up, you can actually come and register right at the class.
Certainly your future plans and visions always changing and moving forward in a positive direction. But you have some exciting news to share with us today, don't you?
Yeah, so we've been working for a long time to try to see if we could get some additional credit for our students. And we do, by the way, offer, you can get continuing education units if that's something that you're into. But I think what's even more exciting, we had looked at maybe getting college credit, but what we found is that our partners in education, Palmer Seminary, has been working with us for a while to see what we could do for our students. And what they've come up with is, if you are a School of Christian Studies graduate, even if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you can go directly to seminary. Now that's pretty awesome, I think.
I think that it speaks highly of the quality of the School of Christian Studies, and it's got a really good track record, and people are recognizing that, and it's just exciting to see that ability to go and work on your master's if you are a graduate of the School of Christian Studies. Mark, anything else you want to add today before we leave?
Well, let's just say that originally this began as a program primarily thinking about small churches, primarily thinking about bivocational pastors, and it's really grown way beyond that. Remember that original number, 97% untrained. Well, I've got some associations now where 100% of the pastors have been trained. And in my biggest association, half of the pastors are either School of Christian Studies graduates or School of Christian Studies students. So it's exciting to see how God has used this program and is continuing to use it to train people with churches of all different sizes and even all different callings, because not all those people are pastors.
Sure. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. And I would tell the folks who are watching, if you want more information, please go to our website, wvbc.org, and you can just follow the education tab, and it'll give you all the information, the registration opportunities that you need. And please don't hesitate to contact us if you need some more information. So have a great day. We'll see you all next week on Family Talks.
Thank you, David.